You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome to the program, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Man, do we have good news. Michael Avenatti, sentenced to 4 years in prison. We're going to, this is so exciting. Don Jr. is so funny. He speaks at a lot of the Trump rallies earlier in the days, long before President Trump comes out. And if you ever have a chance to catch Don Jr. speaking at a Trump rally, you got to catch it. He's great. And I remember he came out at a rally. This was a year or so ago. I don't know. And he says, you know what MAGA stands for? And, not just make America great again. Michael Avenatti got arrested.
I love that.
Michael Avenatti, let me just read a little bit of the story, then we'll talk about this because the whole thing is criminal.
I'm looking on Truth to see if he's...
he will.
I'm sure he had put anything on about it.
This is the headline. Michael Avenatti, that's the creepy porn lawyer, sentenced to 4 years for ripping off Stormy Daniels. He tells the judge he took the stripper's case to take down a sitting American president. And it says here, Michael Avenatti was sentenced to 4 years in prison today by the United States District Court judge for embezzling nearly $300,000 from Stormy Daniels. This is an amazing story. And, I'll tell you what, President Trump should be doing to Stormy Daniels and Michael Avenatti what Johnny Depp did to Amber Heard and sue them. They're all liars.
Absolutely. I think he should sue them, Hillary, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah.
When that verdict went down yesterday, I'd said to you and other people, I said, this is now total precedent for Trump to sue these people for defamation of character.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we all know Johnny Depp hates Trump. He asked where John Wilkes Booth was when you need him. So he hates Trump, but he really went through the same things on some smaller scale with Amber Heard that Trump has been going through.
Well,
you think he would sympathize a little bit.
Donald Trump never had sex with Stormy Daniels.
No, it's a con.
Here's the thing. Okay, they have a photograph of her. Anyone who's a public person takes photographs with people all the time.
Right.
I take photographs with listeners. Will come up to me. I was walking out of Target not long ago, and two listeners came up to me. I took pictures with them.
It could have been Stormy Daniels for all you know.
Yeah, it doesn't mean I had sex with them. Okay. And that's what people do. And I never doubted President Trump on that. It's all lies. And the media, this thing with Michael Avenatti. Michael Avenatti is a creation mainly of CNN. He was on CNN. He was like Jerry Lewis during the telethon days. He was on CNN.
Oh my God.
12, 15 hours a day.
Show. I think they probably had a room for him at a hotel next door, or maybe even on premises.
He probably had his own office.
He was there so much.
And I remember Stormy Daniels was doing her first exclusive interview somewhere. I can't remember who it was with, but she was doing this interview with someone. And Michael Avenatti tweeted a picture of a DVD implying that there was a video of Stormy Daniels having sex with her. Not only was Stormy Daniels and Michael Avenatti completely 100% lying, the mainstream media knew that it was lies about Trump.
They didn't care.
They just didn't care because they wanted to slander him. And I knew President Trump did not sleep with or have sex with Stormy Daniels for a lot of reasons, but one of them is, President Trump is a germaphobe. You hear people talk about this a lot. He's had access to beautiful women his whole life. He doesn't need a porn actress like Stormy Daniels. And you predicted during the Stormy Daniels, all this slanderous stuff. You said one day Stormy Daniels is going to come out and admit that she made it all up and probably blame Michael Avenatti for putting her up to it.
Well, Donald Trump Jr., who's always great for a good tweet or a truth, said, "Happy Michael Avenatti sentencing day."
Yeah.
He's having a good time. This is amazing. I think what happened is, this is just my thinking here. My theory is that Stormy Daniels met Trump somehow. I can't remember the circumstances.
Some public event.
Took a picture with him. And she and Avenatti knew each other, and they concocted this entire scheme. And it really it shows you how stupid the media is. They're useful idiots, is what they are. Useful idiots, I call them. And it really catapulted both of them, especially him, to the top of the food chain. I mean, he was on CNN. He was on there all the time. They were like calling him their savior. Joy Behar said he was going to save America. They wanted him to run for president. This is how stupid these people are. Yep. They were completely conned. This is a con man. And the problem with Avenatti is he was on TV so much, he had to keep coming up with new things to say to stay relevant. So he started making even more stuff up, and eventually his lies caught up with him.
It looked ridiculous.
And he screwed up when he threatened Nike or whatever, Adidas or whatever company. That was a big mistake. You know, you don't take on a big company like that that's got China behind them. And now he's going to jail for 4 years.
I can't wait.
Yeah, neither can Don Jr. Trump is so vindicated right now. This is the year of vindication.
Oh, yeah.
For Donald Trump, and when you think about it.
You know, this thing with Michael Avenatti, everyone's talking about it, you know, like we're doing. Everybody will be talking about it on the, you know, evening shows and everything. But the real villain here is not Michael Avenatti or even Stormy Daniels. I mean, she's a porn actress. And, you know, porn actresses, they will do and say anything. Yeah. And there's a long history of porn actresses claiming to have sex with every celebrity under the sun. That's what they do, because what it does, it doesn't just give them more popularity. It gets them booked into the strip clubs as a headliner. It gets them in more movies.
Yeah, she went on her whole tour.
Yeah, you can't believe anything porn actresses and strippers say.
Well, they're always in survival mode like hookers.
Yeah, but the one organization that's most responsible is CNN. You know, CNN, they got today, CNN, they got the new owners. They announced they're going to stop. They're going to stop overusing the breaking news. You know, every time you turn on
that's the big
CNN, they got a graphic that comes up, breaking news.
Fox does that too.
Yeah. And that actually started after 9/11 when we had the different color alert levels and everything. That's when they started doing that. Everything was breaking news, and it's a tactic to get you in front of the TV. But CNN gave credibility to these lies and slanders about President Trump. And let me tell you, every problem that's going on in this country today, over $8 a gallon for gas in California. Yeah. There is a baby famine going on because of the baby formula shortage. I don't know what parents of babies are doing, but babies are going hungry around America today. It goes on. Runaway inflation. All the fall of Afghanistan and the lives that were lost. Every negative thing that is going on in this country today, it's Biden's fault, but really it's CNN's fault. The left-wing media took these ridiculous stories like Stormy Daniels and Avenatti and gave them credibility. You know, a story came out today that Hunter Biden was making his homemade porn movies.
Oh, yes.
Uploading them to Pornhub, you know, and then texting the links and emailing the links to Joe Biden, his father.
Right. That is pretty sick.
And that's a fact. That's how this was all found on the laptop. It's all in the news today.
I mean, who does that?
Yeah, Hunter Biden.
Who does porn and then sends the link to their father?
Well, I'll tell you about it in a minute.
This is a sick family.
This story, it's real. Okay,
it is real,
the evidence is out there. CNN's not covering that story. Of
course not.
But the creepy porn lawyer Avenatti and Stormy Daniels, they spent months, 24 hours a day. Now, the reason that Hunter was sending – I'm sorry, does my voice sound off, guys, but I talk a lot, okay? I do the 3-hour radio show podcast, and my voice is a little rough today, so yes. I apologize, guys, if I sound off. My voice is really rough.
Yes, like you say, your mouth gets more work than a street-walking crack whore.
That's true. It does. I'm always talking. It's what I do. But
so eloquent.
The reason that Hunter was sending his father, Joe Biden, links to his porn is he was blackmailing his dad, I believe. You
don't think he was just proud of what he was doing and showing, look, Daddy, look what I can do?
No. Well, I have not seen these movies. I don't know if they're available, but I read the articles about them. You can't see Hunter's face in them. He obscures his face. And I think he was in some conflict with his dad. He wanted something from Biden. Joe wouldn't give it to him, and he would send him these links to the porn movies. Say, if you don't give me what I want, I'm going to email these to, Tucker Carlson or Project Veritas or something. And if you remember Project Veritas, they got raided because they had Hunter Biden's sister, Ashley Biden, Joe's daughter's diary, right? Remember that? And it's a little unclear how they got it. Hunter Biden very easily on a bender from his drug rage, could email Project Veritas these movies. And that's why he was doing this to his dad. His dad, it wasn't that his dad's a pervert. He's a pervert. Well, but that's not why he was sending him the links. It was to get something from his dad that his dad wouldn't give him.
Whatever his motivation was, because I think that's probably true. It was, and I think he left that laptop in that shop on purpose. I've always said that all along. I think he hates his father. His father always preferred Bo. He talks about Bo constantly and never talks about it. There's nothing to be proud of about Hunter, and Hunter wants to make sure that his father is not proud of him. He wants to embarrass his father, and that is a lot of the motivation behind his behavior. It's self-destructive, and he wants to destroy his family deep down because he's jealous of the love he had and the attention Bo got, and he wants to destroy his father. And it might be passive aggressive or whatever you call it, but I think that all of this is done by design. And I think you're right. He sent them those things because he wanted to let him know this is what I'm up to. And also, whatever his motivation, whether that was it or in some sick thing he was proud of what he was doing, he wanted to hurt him regardless, but who knows? Maybe Biden likes that kind of stuff. He's a creeper.
I want to thank all of our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. Thank you so much to all the Patreon supporters. And, our Patreon supporters, there are perks to you supporting this program by becoming a Patreon supporter. Not just your support of what has been named the number 3 must listen to conservative podcast in America. Number 1 was Mark Levin. Number 2 was Glenn Beck's The Blaze. And number 3, the Brian Craig Show podcast, named the 3rd must-listen-to conservative podcast in America. That's amazing. But our Patreon supporters, other than the happiness you get from supporting this great program, there are perks, including getting commercial-free editions of each and every podcast episode. All Patreon supporters get that. We also post, from time to time, exclusive content and podcast episodes that are special episodes only available to Patreon supporters, and private photographs, not like Hunter sending a dad, but the other day I was at the store buying
I would hope not, honey.
I was buying some new shirts, and Kathy couldn't go, and I wasn't sure if I should buy I wanted to get Kathy's approval, so I was taking pictures of myself in the dressing room with the shirt on. And then texting it to Kathy is this shirt okay? And
you don't need my approval, but
I need your opinion. I'm not good with that stuff.
You did pick out one shirt I absolutely hated, and it was so ugly. And I said, if you want to wear it, that's fine, but don't wear it in my presence. I said, I'm not going to tell you what to wear, but it was hideous.
So I would text these pictures from the dressing room to Kathy, and some of these pictures are on our Patreon page, so you get to see that stuff.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's really behind the scenes
of our exciting married life.
Yeah, and our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air shout-out thank you on each and every episode. So the names you will hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, Gary, ETW, Dee, Pam, Rick, Rich, and Nick. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you all. And if you would like to become a Patreon supporter, there is a link in the description of this episode. Click that link. It walks you right through on how to do it. Today, Steve Kane and I, we have business meetings where we're not on the radio. We had some, actually 3 business meetings today, and very good business meetings. One of them, though, I'll just tell you guys, is kind of funny. Steve and I went to a business meeting with Janet Cimarelli. Some of you guys, you remember Janet Cimarelli. She's with us on the radio, and
you guys have known Janet a long time,
since 1998. And we went to a meeting with a new sponsor that's coming on the Steve Kane Radio Show to advertise and support the Steve Kane Radio Show. And it's a regular business meeting. And next thing I know, I was hypnotized. I am not kidding. That's
the second time that's happened.
Yeah, I was hypnotized and went through a hypnotherapy session.
Was it relaxing?
It was very relaxing. I was not expecting it to happen, but it happened and caught me off guard. I wasn't really prepared. And when they told me they were going to hypnotize me, caught me off guard. I said, well, I wasn't planning on this. I didn't come prepared with any problems that need help. But I came up with something. And so anyway, just a short time ago, I was actually under hypnosis. I was hypnotized. And this is the second time I've done hypnotherapy. And I always thought hypnosis was like not real, you know, because you've seen the magicians do it.
I've never done it.
It is real. It is when you're hypnotized, it's hard to explain unless you've experienced it. You are aware of your surroundings and everything that's going on, and you can hear everything. You can open your eyes if you want, but you're in a trance. It's hard to explain. It's pleasurable. It's not.
People use it for a lot of things. It's supposed to really be effective.
Yeah, I know. It's just I don't know how many of you go to meetings at your work and get hypnotized, but I did today. It's kind of funny when you think about it. But and afterwards, I was very relaxed. Very relaxed, I must say. It was.
I want to tell you what's trending right now. I always check during the show. Biden is a failure is trending. Maybe now that Elon Musk is in charge, he's going to allow real trends to happen. But Biden is a failure, and everybody who voted for Donald Trump knew this was going to happen. I said to you today. I said because you said everybody that voted for this jerk is responsible, and I said how could people not know just by watching him campaign from the basement? Just the way he talked or couldn't talk, the way he walked or couldn't walk. How could you not know that this guy would be a total freaking disaster? I mean, I think Trump, the minute when you saw him at Mar-a-Lago that day driving home, and you were so sad. I remember you came home and you were like, Trump was smiling. He was happy.
On Biden's inauguration
and
day.
You were like really upset. I guarantee you he was already planning his comeback. That's Trump he's the comeback kid. Everybody loves a comeback and he can't wait. None of us can wait.
I was in the presence of President Trump the last 15 minutes of his first term. And if you go to my Truth Social, Real Brian Craig on Truth Social, the banner on my Truth Social profile, Real Brian Craig, is President Trump and the Beast. That is the last 15 minutes of his first term, and it is one of the last and probably the last super good picture taken of him.
You were close.
While he was president in his first term. And I got that picture so by accident because I was filming a vlog on my iPhone for my YouTube channel. And I saw him coming by, and when the Beast comes by, all the windows are so dark you can hardly see in them, except the one where the president sits. And the glass on the Beast is like 10 inches thick. It's huge, thick glass. And he came by, and I said, I'm going to get a picture here. So I got a picture of it, and it's the most perfect picture.
I hope someday you get to meet him. I really do.
This picture, you'll see it on my True Social. This picture could be the cover of Life magazine. But when President Trump came by, now this is so true. This was the last 15 minutes of his first term. All right. I mean, and
how many people were there? Would you say
thousands and thousands and thousands? And everyone was upset. Everyone was bawling. And when President Trump came by, he was grinning ear to ear, as you'll see in the picture.
Yeah, because he had a plan.
And I called Kathy after. I said, and I even say this on the vlog. I said he doesn't look like he's got a worry in the world.
I think he knew what we knew. He knew that Joe Biden would be such a disaster for the country. He knew. He talked about it in his rallies all the time. Your 401k is going to go down, gas is going to go up. He talked about this. He warned everybody. So he is vindicated just by Joe Biden's actions. And I think he knew this guy is going to be such a disaster. Trump is the kind of guy, he's really an amazing breed of person. Not too many people are like this. He really does not let things get him down. He just moves forward. He's like constantly moving forward.
Yeah.
And he just does not let anything stop him from what he wants to do. He doesn't wallow in self-pity. I'm not saying he doesn't have moments where he's disappointed, but he's not the kind of guy to let it drag him down with him.
Yeah.
He sees it as a challenge, as a new challenge in life. And guys like that love these kinds of new challenges. And I think he saw that as he sees everything as an opportunity. I've seen him talk about that. Every failure can be an opportunity.
Well, when
that's how successful people think.
When you see people that are as successful as President Trump, you don't see many people that are moping all the time when they've made it.
They don't have time to mope. They're too busy making things happen.
They're winners.
He's a winner. That's
now,
right.
Listen, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be right back after this quick break. Don't go anywhere.
CryptoBlocks DAO has been to the moon, and it's made of blocks. Inspired by Minecraft, the #1 selling game of all time, CryptoBlocks DAO is a collection of 10,000 NFTs and the blocks token that make up the DAO. Blockchains are based on decentralization, which means they're not controlled by a single central authority, like the government, and that is exactly what DAO delivers to a company or organization. CryptoBlocks DAO provides a platform that will offer an opportunity for its holders to contribute and participate in the project discussions through voting and adding real utilities to its ecosystem. To learn more, visit CryptoBlocksDAO.com. That's DAO, D-A-O. From bedrock to the moon, CryptoBlocksDAO.com. From award-winning author Michelle D. Jackson comes the book, Poppy Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic. This is the author's third book. It's a comic book graphic novel designed to teach youth and young adults the 10 steps to launching a successful food startup. Poppy Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic takes place in New Orleans, and the main character is an 18-year-old entrepreneur named Poppy who develops a Cajun popcorn seasoning. She takes her product from the kitchen table to the boardroom, skyrocketing sales, building personal and professional skills, and growing into a confident business owner along the way. This book is perfect for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs of all ages, as well as CEOs, business leaders, and innovators who have an interest in developing a high-growth, scalable food company. Poppy Makes Cajun Popcorn Magic from award-winning author Michelle D. Jackson. Order your copy right now online at the author's website, authormichelledjackson.com. Also available on Amazon. Summertime's right around the corner. Are you ready for your summer vacation in the Great Smoky Mountains? Did you know that the Great Smoky Mountains is the most popular national park? It has everything you and your family are looking for this summer. The Dollywood theme park, walk the trails, mountain biking, there's even a waterfall, outdoor rafting, horseback riding, fishing, and that's just the beginning. You can have it all. And there's no better way to enjoy the Great Smoky Mountains than staying in a beautiful sky view log cabin. Imagine waking up with the sunshine shining through the massive glass windows, having your morning coffee on the balcony, and enjoy the natural beauty around you, and have all the modern amenities too. A private hot tub, fireplace, a pool table, and more. Visit skyviewvacation.com and book your accommodations right now. skyviewvacation.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. And, you know, the Brian Craig Show podcast is available on all podcast platforms, including Spotify and Audible. But we are on all podcast platforms. Just search for the Brian Craig Show podcast. You know, the gas prices... You know, a lot of people, they say, yeah, I hear people talking in the media. I remember when gas, you know, the cheapest I ever paid for gas that I can remember was 78 or 79 cents a gallon. When I first started driving.
I paid 75 cents
75
when
cents.
I was 16.
Yeah, I was 16, 17, like 1987, 88. And I remember it went up to 88 cents. And I had a really terrible car. I had my first car was a 1981 Chevy Citation. It was a piece of garbage.
Yeah, those were bad.
None of my friends wanted to ride in it because they were embarrassed. And
I had a CRX.
Yeah, Kathy
I had a cool car. I had a red CRX in high school.
Yeah, and my car only had an AM radio in it, and the radio in the Chevy Citation It was a regular radio, but it wasn't put in like a regular car. And if any of you out there have ever been in a Chevy Citation, you'll get what I'm probably not going to be able to explain. But you know how a car radio normally sits in the car like this, like this direction? I don't know what you would call that direction.
Like facing forward.
Yeah. In the Chevy Citation, the regular same radio faced up and down.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
and it was really embarrassing. And
I had a friend who had a Chevy Citation in high school, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and
that car was a piece of junk too.
The car would only run on super unleaded. Not long after I got it, if I ran it on anything other than super unleaded and I turned it off, the car would keep like chugging. It would keep like chugging for like sometimes like 2 minutes after I turned the car off. My friends just thought it was hilarious. I was so embarrassed. But if I put super unleaded in it.
I'm surprised you had friends.
Yeah. With this car, it wasn't easy. I just, I was in my car alone a lot and following my friends elsewhere in their cars that were overloaded. But the car would run if I put regular unleaded in it. I would turn the car off. I'd take the key out, and the engine was still clunking. I'm serious. I don't know what you call that if there's any mechanics out there. So I had to get super unleaded, and super unleaded went to the all-time high, $1.25 a gallon. And
minimum wage was like $3 back then. It's like $3.35.
Yeah, and
that's crazy.
$1.25 a gallon. And I remember. When I saw I went by the gas station and super unleaded went above $1, and then it hit $1.25. I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to afford gas in my car at $1.25 a gallon. This is outrageous. These things, and now it's over $8 a gallon
in California.
And right now in Florida, it is hurricane season. June 1st is the beginning of hurricane season. We've got our first bad weather coming from the Gulf of Mexico to Florida, which is unusual. Usually
tropical storm.
Yeah, tropical storms and hurricanes don't usually come from Mexico. This is an unusual thing.
It is.
And when, if you're a Floridian, if you are a Floridian, and you're smart, you prepare. We have our windows in our house are hurricane glass windows, and we also have hurricane shutters to cover up the hurricane glass windows. And we also have a generator so that if you lose electricity because sometimes trees are blown down and they knock down the power lines and they can't repair them until after the storm passes. But the generator takes gas. And when there's a hurricane coming, right now it's just a tropical storm. But a tropical storm is
it's pretty strong. People don't realize it's like hurricane starts at 70-mile-an-hour winds. That's Category 1.
Cat 1, yeah.
And a tropical storm can get up to that level because it's anything. It's like 40. It's 40 to 69.
What happens when you have when you have a tropical storm? You get wind gust. And wind gust in a tropical storm can get up to Cat 2 or 3 hurricane. And
it can get really tough.
So looking at the weather today, this is not a hurricane; it's a tropical storm, thankfully. But this is a busy start of hurricane season.
Oh yeah!
And the way things are looking, I'm expecting a hurricane this year. In Florida, we don't get hurricanes as much as people think. People think we get hurricanes all the time. It's not true. We get a bad hurricane once every 10 years, 12 years or so.
That's in South Florida, but they do hit other parts of Florida.
Yeah, other parts of Florida.
You mean like our area?
We're in South Florida. We're in Mar-a-Lago.
Last year they got one in Orlando.
Yeah, but anyway, when there's typically, so people that are Floridians know how to handle themselves. We have a lot of transplants here that came here after COVID.
Yeah.
And people that have not lived in Florida or new to Florida, they don't understand how serious hurricanes are, and they take them way too lightly. You have got to prepare. They're very bad. When a hurricane is over your house, you're inside with the hurricane shutters. We do have our back door. We have French doors that are hurricane doors with hurricane glass, and we don't shutter that up, and we can see outside during the storms. But you're in your house. They almost always hit at night. Sometimes during the day, but at night. But the sound is awful. It's when a hurricane comes, it sounds like a freight train coming by your window right next to your house. They're pretty serious stuff. But anyway,
people from other parts in they come from California. They have other things to worry about too. So I'm sure they're familiar with emergency preparedness.
No,
they deal
not
with
like
fires. They deal with earthquakes. Fires are pretty bad.
People think hurricanes are no big deal, and they are. They're not fun. Like I say, we don't get them all the time, and a lot of times when you get them, they're not that. it's not like people think. People think that we get hit by hurricanes every week, and when you're not getting hit by hurricanes, you're getting eaten by alligators. It's just not that way. But anyway, right now though, this tropical storm, most of us in Florida have generators. We have a very big generator in our garage, and we have that in case we lose electricity. We can hook it up to our refrigerator. We've got a portable air conditioning because it gets up into the 90s and it's rough, and it can power other things too. But it takes gas, and I have 8 5-gallon drums for gasoline that are empty. And usually, what people do right now with a tropical storm is you go to the gas station, you fill up all of the cars in your family. And then when you have gas, like the 5-gallon jugs like I have, you fill those up with gas. And typically people go to all the Walmarts and everything and buy up all the jugs. They try to buy generators. That's why we're prepared. But gas prices are so high now in Florida, $5 a gallon-ish, depending. That's 25 times 8, a couple $100 plus the car. And people are not going to prepare for the hurricanes because of the Biden inflation. And it's not just gas. When a hurricane's coming, even a tropical storm, because it could turn into a hurricane.
Well, they might not be able to prepare. It's not even
It's too expensive. People can't afford.
For some people, it's like, well, do I eat this week or do I buy a flashlight to get around in the dark?
And, we usually fill up all the jugs of gas, and we do store them properly. We have a way to store them and everything. Yeah. And if we don't have to use the generator, which we have not had to use our generator in 15 years since we've had to use a generator, lost electricity, had to use a generator. The last few hurricanes, we didn't lose power. But we always have the generator on standby. And I don't mind buying all that gas because if I don't need it in the generator, I just use it and fill our cars up with it, and we don't have to buy gas for weeks. We just fill our cars up with the 5-gallon jugs. But then, another thing you do to prepare is you go to the grocery store and you load up on food and you load up on bottled water. And because of inflation, prices are so high, people cannot afford to properly prepare for very dangerous hurricanes. And they can't afford to prepare with enough gas. And after a hurricane, it's hard to get gas because people buy it up. Now, Rick Scott, when he was governor, passed some laws and gas stations, or at least a whole bunch of them have to have generators to power their gas pumps. But gas gets very scarce. And we had a hurricane about 20 years ago. And we had to drive 3 hours away, to get gas and to have air conditioning and stuff because we didn't have power for a couple of weeks and gas got scarce.
Yeah, I actually went to Atlanta.
Yeah, because
2 weeks with Emily.
It was bad.
I stayed with my best friend.
There was no electricity, so I'm really concerned about hurricane season this year because of inflation. We got 2 problems going on. We got a bunch of people from Pennsylvania and all over the country, California, that have moved to Florida, escaping COVID lockdowns. Yeah. They think hurricanes and stuff are fun. They're not fun. And you want it. If you're prepared like we are, it's not a problem. But if you're from out of state and you don't have shutters and you don't have hurricane glass, you don't have a generator, gas, you don't stock up on supplies, you could be in trouble. So we've got that group of people that if we get a hurricane this year, we're in hurricane season, they're not going to prepare because they don't know. Then you have a whole bunch of other people that can't afford to buy enough gas. They can't afford to buy enough backup food and bottled water because inflation is so high under Biden. If we get a major hurricane in Florida, even with the greatest governor in the history of governors, as our governor, Ron DeSantis.
Thank goodness we have him.
And we have the greatest president in history, Donald Trump, here too, which I'm sure would do. Even with the 2 greatest in the state of Florida, Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis, we're going to have a major trouble because this hurricane season, Floridians will be less prepared than ever before. This will be like back in the 1800s before they had satellites and stuff and knew when the storms were coming. People will be less prepared than ever because of the Biden inflation. They cannot afford to properly prepare for the hurricanes. And this is the first hurricane season. I'm nervous because we're going to have so many people that don't know better. and don't prepare, and a whole bunch more, they can't afford to properly prepare. And that means in the aftermath of the storm, we're in trouble. And I am really concerned about this. I really am. And I just saw a poll today. 60% of Americans blame Biden for inflation. Well, what are the 40% blaming? Putin?
Russia. Yeah, they blame
That's
Putin.
insane.
Yeah. But that number has changed. That number has shifted.
I mean, only 60% blame Biden?
It's not. It has nothing to do with Putin. That the only reason that whole thing is affecting us is because Biden keeps giving them money, and that's his fault. He keeps sending them billions and billions and billions of dollars, and so that's his fault. And we can manufacture so much here in this country, like fertilizer, wheat, or not manufacture, grow wheat, produce our own oil. That's why people are blaming him, because he's not doing anything to solve the problem. He could sit there and go on TV and blame Putin all he wants. It's his job to fix this crap. It's his job to fix it. So people are getting tired. I'm just looking on Twitter. Biden is a failure is trending, and people are very tired of him just blaming people. Let me tell you this. If you voted for Biden, he will never fix anything. Like I've said, he can't even fix a ham sandwich.
Nope.
He will never fix a problem. All Democrats know how to do is create problems. That's all they know how to do. And maybe you'll wise up to this. Whether you like Trump or not, or you thought he was mean, the guy knew how to solve a problem. And I don't want to hear about COVID, because that had nothing to do with him, and he did not create that mess. And he did the absolute best he could possibly do, given the people he was dealing with at the time. And I don't want to get into that, but he did a great job. But Biden is creating these problems and doing nothing about, what about the baby food shortage? What are these people going to do? It's gotten worse. It's not gotten better. I mean, I have my best friend, her daughter's about to give birth in 6 weeks. And I said to her, are you buying formula? And I said, they're
where are you going to find it?
You can get some on Amazon, but it's very expensive. Liquid, but it's probably coming from Europe. And people are selling it, but a case is like $80.
Oh my goodness!
So
Thieves.
it's price. They're taking advantage of the situation. I'm sure people in Europe are selling it online to people to get. But if you think Biden, if you're sitting around waiting for Biden to fix this, you're going to be waiting forever, because that guy doesn't know how to fix a damn thing. All Democrats know how to do is create problems.
That's
like
right.
I said, they don't know how to fix problems. So you're on your own. I'm sorry, but this is not going to be something that the Democrats are going to be able to resolve for you.
Now, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, there is a lot more to talk about. We have only scratched the surface. Do not go anywhere. We will be back right after this break.
From author and licensed psychotherapist France Lamore comes a book that's a blueprint to help readers live what you deserve, your best life. 7 life-giving words to live your best life. Available on Amazon. The author has witnessed firsthand the effects it takes to rise above everything that tries to keep us down. We want to live our best life, but sometimes we don't know how. Through 7 practical lessons and relevant scriptures on words of love, forgiveness, healing, salvation, authority, peace, and grace, 7 life-giving words to live your best life will breathe new resilience and energy into your daily walk and help you master the art of living your best life one day at a time. You can live your best life. Order your copy of 7 life-giving words to live your best life from licensed psychotherapist and author France Lamore. Available in Kindle and paperback on Amazon. Are you an experienced songwriter or just starting out as a musician and looking for that perfect melody? The book from author Paul Wright, The Songwriting Magic Formula, will teach you to instantly compose hit vocal melodies with the backing chords at the same time. In this must-read book, you will learn how to instantly create riffs, hooks, and hit vocal melodies. It's an interactive book that dispels the myths of songwriting and destroys the negatives that hold songwriters back and ends songwriters' block in melody. You may have read books on songwriting, but this book brings up every melody ever written and every melody yet to be written. A lot of people have their own ideas on what the songwriting magic formula is. The songwriting magic formula offers the tips and tricks that no one has ever told you about. This book also makes a great gift for the musician in your life. Order your copy right now. The Songwriting Magic Formula from author Paul Wright on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, Audible, and over 40 other online audio bookstores right now. Everyone has a story to tell. We all experience hardships in life, but how people react to those hardships can determine who they are and their quality of life. The book from author Hannon Safe, Scattered Thoughts, available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, is an inspirational book that gathers moving stories of strength and survival. Stories of people whose battles did not define them, but instead propelled them forward to become who they are today. Overcoming tremendous odds to end up being winners in the end. The people whose stories are written about are now happy and wish that you could end up with their results, wanting you to forgive yourself, love yourself, and most importantly, appreciate and know your worth. If you know anyone who could benefit from this book, it makes a great gift. Scattered Thoughts from author Hannon Safe, available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. We greatly appreciate that. And don't forget, not only can you pick the program up on all of the podcast platforms, don't forget my YouTube channel. I do a lot of content on YouTube, Brian Craig on YouTube. Of course, I live stream on the radio every morning for 3 hours, taking live calls from our radio listeners and YouTube viewers. I upload the podcast there. And when we upload our podcast to YouTube, we do a live premiere. And that means we have a chat room. So we are interactive with the chat room there. I do live streams from our home studio on the weekends, which is much different than all of my other YouTube videos that I put up there. And if you've seen my Saturday and Sunday live streams on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about. If not, check those out and don't miss those. And I also do a lot of vlogs. And I put up a couple of blogs, or vlogs with a V, not with a B, vlogs this week. For Memorial Day, I went to a local cemetery with Confederate veterans and made a very interesting vlog of the Confederate veterans at the cemetery, which was amazing. And then I did another vlog right after that because I was down the street. I went over to Mar-a-Lago and did a walking tour of Mar-a-Lago, and it's called Relaxing Stroll at Mar-a-Lago. And you'll really enjoy it. And if you don't follow me on YouTube, you're missing out on a lot because I put up a lot of very good MAGA content on my YouTube channel. So just search Brian Craig on YouTube. Okay, now this gun control talk. Now I just say this going out the box, okay, or out the gate, whatever the phrase is. The Democrats do not plan on having gun control and gun confiscation. And I know people will think you're crazy. Look, listen to Beto. The Democrats.
He's such an idiot.
Yeah, here's the thing with the Democrats, okay? And this is something very, I've been doing this for so long now. I have been, I was in a meeting today and they were asking me how long I was on the air. And I said 30 years. And then I thought, no, it's been 32 years.
Yeah. But you look so young.
Yeah. Well, but 32 years. So I've been doing this a long time and I've seen, as you get older, you get a better understanding of what's going on.
That's true. You get wiser.
Perspective.
You get perspective. That's exactly right. I like that word. You get perspective.
This is the deal with Democrats, okay? Gun control or any other issue. The Democrats have no plans on accomplishing their agenda on any of them. And this is what I mean by that. Democrats remain in power and always have, going back to the Civil War and pre-Civil War days, with fear. Prior to the Civil War, what did the Democrats tell you? They're going to free your slaves and they're going to kill you. After the Civil War, they're giving the black people the vote. You're going to be the slaves to them and all this stuff. Today, so they always have scare tactics, the Democrats. They've always done this.
If you read, like you said, if you look back on history, they haven't changed one bit.
Yeah, and
they're as corrupt and conniving as ever.
And today, what they do is whatever the in vogue issues are of the day, they use that as fear. 1920, women got the vote. And you guys, the suffragettes were the female activists that advocated for women to get the vote. Almost every single suffragette was a Republican. The Democrats were opposed, including Woodrow Wilson. You know, the Democrats were opposed to women getting the vote because you guys, you're going to have to answer to the women. The women will have the vote. We're going to lose control.
That's right.
And right now it's gun control. What Democrats do not want to accomplish any of these things because they lose their scare tactic.
Yeah, they have no issue then.
Right now, they're not talking about gun control because of the school shooting in Uvalde. We found out this week that what happened in Uvalde, Texas, happened for many things, that police chief I was talking about, but his entire family have led a life of crime their whole life.
The shooter, you mean?
The shooter.
Yeah.
The shooter's family in
they're all
Uvalde,
criminals,
Texas.
and I bet they're illegals too.
His mother has been a criminal throughout her adult life. His father, a lifelong criminal.
Yeah.
His grandmother that he shot in the face, she's got criminal convictions too. He comes from a crime family.
His mima?
Yeah. Even grandma.
His abuela?
Yeah. His abuela is a criminal. Oh, I don't know how you say criminal in Spanish.
I'll have to look that one up.
A bandit. I don't know. Is that Spanish? I don't know. It's in all the movies.
I don't know.
But a bandito.
Maybe.
His
Abuela.
His umbrella?
No, not umbrella.
Umbrello is a bandito.
Ryan does not do well in
his
Spanish.
umbrello?
No, abuela.
His umbrella?
No, okay, whatever. Umbrella, we'll say.
Well, his grandma's a bandito.
Grandma, his mima.
So he comes from an entire criminal family, and none of them really faced any consequences.
No.
And that's why this happened. And when I talk about Democrats not wanting to solve any issues, they like fear tactics.
Yeah.
So when this terrible
it's useful to them. Once they solve a problem, it's no longer something they can use.
They always promise a solution to a problem that they create, and you got to go to them for the solution.
That's what Scott Pressler says.
And if they solve it, you don't have to go to the Democrats anymore. I'll give you another one. The border issue, right? Like the Dreamers and all this stuff. The Democrats turned Donald Trump in his first term offered the Democrats a complete amnesty thing for the Dreamers, and the Democrats said no.
That's right.
Because the Democrats want the Dreamers living in fear
and to be dependent on them
all the time, of being deported back to their country of origin. So they always got to go to the Democrats for hope. Gun control's the same thing, okay?
It's a way to control people. It's a way to control the masses.
Fear. Yeah.
And they use these issues as a way of control.
Yeah. The gun control issue, I'm not saying that they don't want to get some mild gun control legislation passed to look like they did something. But overall, the Democrats do not – I'm talking about their leadership, the Joe Biden level, the Pelosi level. I'm not talking about activists. They're too stupid to understand what I'm – Democrat activists are dumb people. They don't understand what I'm telling you. They think it's for real. If the Democrats banned all guns and there was a total confiscation, they would lose that issue to keep people in fear. When this terrible shooting happened in Texas last week, the Democrats' first thought was, oh, man, we got an issue now. We got nothing. We can get this baby formula crisis off the news cycle. That's how they think when this stuff happens.
Yeah, that's how they think. Okay, I have two breaking news. Scott Pressler says, he tweeted this, or truth this. I have huge Nevada news. A month ago, Democrats had an advantage of 62,000 voter registrations over Republicans. Today, that lead has been narrowed to 58,000. In 30 days, they've gone down 3,400 votes. Democrats added 3,500, while Republicans added 7,000 in Nevada, which is a blue state.
That's amazing.
So the tide is turning. Also, Ryan Fournier, who's a red check mark on Truth, said, this is interesting, the lawyer who handled Nick Sandmann and the Covington Catholic kids just joined whose legal team? Who do you think?
Oh, yeah, Rittenhouse.
Right?
Yeah, I saw
Kyle
this.
Rittenhouse.
Yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse. I saw this.
Game on.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has as much of a case as Nick Sandmann, because Nick Sandmann didn't do anything. He was just standing there. Kyle Rittenhouse did kill 2 people. And I know it was self-defense, but I don't know if he has as strong of a case for defamation. I'm not saying he doesn't have a case. I don't know if it's as strong. He was more of a public figure than Sandmann. Nick Sandmann was just a regular kid who just instantly became a public figure, like in a blink. Kyle Rittenhouse, without doing anything to make that happen. Kyle Rittenhouse did an action that resulted in him going to court, having a trial. So his actions led to him becoming a household name. So I don't know if it's the same standard because he was a name before they started saying things about he was already well known.
The thing with...
So it's a different level, I think.
The thing with Nick Sandmann, that fake Indian, that guy was no Indian, right? Totally fake. Those were just innocent kids on a field trip. Then Rittenhouse having a public court case that was televised, that makes him a public figure, and that's that's the thing. Earlier when I was in the last segment when I was talking about transplants to Florida not taking these storms seriously, this tropical storm right now as we sit here is one of the biggest tropical storms I've ever seen.
It's pretty big. It covers a large area.
And I just saw a tweet an hour ago from Dave Rubin. And Dave Rubin, you guys know Dave Rubin. He's the gay conservative guy. He works with the Blaze. He moved from California to Miami recently.
Oh, yeah.
And he just sent out a tweet driving to Orlando for my event with Governor Ron DeSantis. And just past this billboard, it's okay to say gay. I've seen this billboard. It's on the Florida Turnpike. If Dave Rubin was a Floridian living in Florida and not a California transplant, he would not be driving to Orlando today.
Because he won't be able to get home.
Tomorrow the weather's going to start tomorrow. It'll start to get sketchy. By Saturday, you don't want to be on the road. No.
Across the whole southern.
I was going to take a trip this weekend that I'm not taking because of the rains are going to be so bad and the winds. So Dave Rubin, this is what I'm talking about. These non-Floridians, they don't understand. Like if you're in a tornado place, tornado's a small isolated thing. I know it's unpredictable and they do tremendous damage, but it's a small thing. A hurricane covers like huge chunks of the state.
500 miles.
And inside those hurricanes
are tornadoes.
Yes.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
Okay, Governor Newsom is tackling a very, very important issue. Have you ever heard of this? Shade equity. And I don't mean throwing shade.
As they
say on
what is it?
Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Shade equity?
A report.
Who's doing this?
Governor Newsom. This is true. In the Daily Caller.
Oh, my goodness.
A report on alleged systemic racism released Wednesday and greenlit by Newsom is calling for the planting of trees statewide to create shade equity and reduce heat islands in black neighborhoods.
Wait,
I agree that urban areas might need more trees, but they're making it a racial thing, like there was purposely no trees because of racism. Yeah, shade equity. There's equality in shade.
It's not skin color. It's shade brought to you by trees.
Exactly.
People in urban areas lack shade from trees.
Because it's racist. Like the tunnels.
Maybe because they live in concrete cities.
This is absolutely a 500-page report was released after Newsom signed legislation forming a 9-member task force to inform Californians about slavery and explore ways the state might provide reparations. I'm sure that 500-page report didn't mention that Democrats own slaves. It describes tree demolishing in black neighborhoods for highway construction and says climate change makes those areas hotter. So I have no problem with them planting trees. And one of our listeners, ID, lives in Detroit, and she sent me pictures, and there's not a lot of trees where she lives. It's very
she lives in the city, yeah.
She lives in the city. I don't think she would say that's racist, but I think it'd be nice to have trees planted. Nothing wrong with trees. And shade is important, believe me. Just go to Disney World.
I'll tell you this.
And you'll understand. Live in Florida.
But
it's not a racist thing.
I think California has solved all of their racial issues if they're working on shade from tree equity.
The report is billed as the first of its kind by a state government to examine slavery and the compounding harms that the United States and Californian governments have inflicted upon African Americans.
Okay.
The California Reparations Task Force issued the document to the state's legislature.
Oh, my goodness.
And final report will be issued prior to July 2023. They call these heat islands, which will worsen due to climate change, exist where the buildup of urban areas have few trees, vegetation, or parks that serve to dissipate or reflect heat, and instead have pavement and building materials that absorb and retain heat. Look, I think having more trees and grass and parks is a good thing.
Yeah, but it's not.
I really do. But it's not racist.
It's not racial inequity. Now, listen, we're going to take our last break. When we get back, don't go anywhere. We got a lot more to talk about in our final segment. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. Back after this.
From author Sheila R. Wiley comes your next must-read book, Lightness and Darkness Cannot Mix. Being involved in a toxic relationship can strip you of living a bound-free life. In Lightness and Darkness Cannot Mix, author Sheila R. Wiley will show readers how trauma transformed her entire life from lightness to darkness. She let her guards down and came face-to-face with the devil. She went from one state of mind to another in a traumatic spiritual battle. Cultivating her relationship with God allowed another chance at the thing called life. By the power and authority of God, he once again showed himself strong and defeated the devil. We can all go through trials and tribulations, but remember the scripture, 1 John 4:4. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. When you live a life for Jesus Christ, trials and tribulations come. Try not to allow Satan to trick you into thinking that he wins, because he doesn't. Even though you may have fallen, you can get back up more vital and with more power with God's help. Order your copy of Lightness and Darkness Cannot Mix from author Sheila R. Wiley. Available on XylanPress.com. That's XULON Press.com. Are you looking for a memorable Father's Day gift for your dad or husband? The new book from author M.J. Connor. M, available on Amazon, is the perfect gift that the father in your life will love to read. In M, meet Justin Roberts. He's a doctoral student, an expert in Hitler's National Socialism. Justin discovers a mysterious World War II journal smuggled out of East Germany. Inside, the author ingeniously inserted a coded message meant only for the Free West. He enlists the help of a secret network of Cold War spies to solve the code and decipher the message. The stakes are raised when Justin receives a startling warning. He flees and is pursued by an assassin in a heart-stopping race for survival. When Justin's solution is later questioned, he elicits help from pharmacist Dr. Angela Keenan. In a shocking twist, their stories converge, and a plot to create a power vacuum in the United States government is uncovered. With only a few hours before the coup, Angela and Justin must escape the assassin and save the victims. What happens next is thrilling and heart-pounding. M, from author M.J. Connor, is available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover editions. This is a great gift for Father's Day. Order your copy right now. Are your pants falling down? There is a solution. Skinny Clip, available on Amazon and skinnyclip.com. Belts are bulky, uncomfortable, and expensive. Skinny Clip replaces the belt. Skinny Clip is an easy-to-use waistband tightener for men and women. It can easily work to tighten a belt on pants that are too loose. Skinny Clip tightens your pants without a belt. Maybe you lost some weight and you don't want to buy a new wardrobe. Maybe someone gave you clothes that you love, but they're a little too big. Skinny Clip can make them fit just right. Skinny Clip is a newly patented invention that holds up oversized pants easily and comfortably. It's easy to use too. Simply slide your waistband, twist, and hook. That's it. It works great on all types of fabric, skirts, slacks, jeans, and shorts. It's perfect for blue jeans that loosen up during the day. It's affordable and available in multiple colors. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. Skinny Clip, when you're skinny for yourself. Skinny Clip is available on Amazon. Just search Skinny Clip or visit the website skinnyclip.com. Do you have any anxious attachments in your relationships? If you answered yes, you are not alone. Millions of people around the world have insecure attachment styles. Anxious attachment is a common form of insecure attachment, and it creates worry and distrust in relationships. The audiobook, Anxious Attachments No More, available on Audible, covers this important topic. When you have an insecure attachment style, you may tend to self-sabotage your relationships, and you may feel unable to trust your partner's love. You may think that you were never going to be worthy of another person's love, and you worry that they will someday betray you. Those worries are based on the past issues that have taught you to expect certain types of treatment in relationships, and those expectations make you feel insecure and anxious. This audiobook will give you insight and help you develop healthy relationships. Anxious Attachments No More. Order your copy right now on Audible.
You are listening to the Brian Craig Show podcast. Broadcasting from sunny South Florida, Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. Okay, Elliot Page, the actor formerly known as Ellen Page from Juno, right, is out there. Doing something now. Now, Ellen Page, Juno I thought was kind of stupid. I thought that was an overrated thing. But Elliot Page is in a Netflix show that I like, The Umbrella Academy. Mm-hmm. The first season was good. The second season, I'm looking forward to the next season when we're joined by a new cast member replacing the actress Elliot Page. Anyway, Elliot Page is now on a mission will target comedians who make jokes at the expense of trans people. And this kind of reminds me when Ellen became like the big gay activist and she'd go after people. She's upset and she's talking about Netflix specials using transgendered people to get views and comedians to make money. What kind of mission is it in life to go around targeting comedians because you don't like what it is they're saying?
How is what she's doing any better or worse than what they're doing?
It's what Elliot Page is talking about doing is bullying, and I'll tell you.
Well, what I'm saying is she's accusing them of targeting transgenders and making fun of them. Well, she's turning around and targeting them and trying to destroy their
straight
careers.
Comedians.
So how the hell is she any better than these people?
I saw a picture. I think it's from this Esquire interview. Did you see this picture with Elliot Page with their shirt off?
Yeah.
I don't know if this picture is real or they doctored it.
It's real.
Elliot Page has like a 6-pack.
Yeah. Well,
of
she's
abs.
on she's on a bunch of hormones. Yeah.
I don't know. That seems so. I don't know. We're just in a strange place. That's one of the things. Mayor Pete. He thinks he's the Neil Armstrong of gays. I tell people he just thinks it's such a big deal that he's this openly gay cabinet member. He's not the first gay cabinet member, okay? That was Janet Reno a long time ago, Bill Clinton, okay, 93. But being gay is like boring and mild compared to Leah the swimmer and Elliot Page. You know what I mean? He's like,
yeah,
that's like boring. It's almost... Being openly gay is almost like being conservative, But I wanted to talk a little bit because I got some negative feedback, and then Kellyanne or McEnany was talking about this on Outnumbered today about the Johnny Depp verdict. And I got some negative feedback from listeners because today on the radio I was talking about the Amber Heard Johnny Depp verdict. And I wasn't going through the case and detailing the case. I'm not interested in doing that. This Johnny Depp verdict is huge. McEnany said because of his John Wilkes Booth comment, conservatives shouldn't be praising Johnny Depp. I get it. Johnny Depp should have been arrested for the John Wilkes Booth comments. I agree with that. I mean, there's no doubt about it. But I think he was in France when he said it, but I don't even know. He still should have gotten in trouble for that. But Johnny Depp in this court case, what he's done is amazing. He has totally shut down the entire Me Too movement, Kathy.
Well, I think, I definitely think it harmed that because this is the first major case that was, internationally broadcast and talked about where you have a man who was accused of things. And how many men have been accused of things over the last 3 or 4 years, including President Trump, who have to just sit back and take it and be assumed to be liars? Women can be the most conniving, manipulative, lying people on the planet. I mean, it's not unheard of that a woman's nothing worse than a woman scorned. Yeah. And I saw her testify. She was clearly lying. She's a horrible actress, by the way, because it was very bad acting on her part. She was caught in several lies. She first said she gave the $7 million he gave her. He's going to get all that money back now. The $7 million he gave her after their settlement, she donated all that to charity. Well, then it came out she lied about that. She lied about a lot of other things. Said that she used certain types of makeup to cover up bruises. She really defamed him as a wife beater, which is just not something you should take lightly. And I know, his politics I don't agree with, but I like Johnny Depp. I like his movies, and I don't care about his politics. I think he's a great actor. I enjoy Pirates of the Caribbean so much. And I think good for him for actually fighting her and taking it on and proving that not all women should be believed. Just because a woman says something, a guy, it's this whole thing like with abortion. Right. A woman is supposed to be able to kill her kid and the father has no say. Men need to stand up for themselves more and claim their rights to these things and stop just sitting back and saying, well, okay, you can just call me a wife beater and I'm not going and I'm just going to put up with it. It's BS. So good for him.
Well, this Me Too thing, the official start of it is Harvey Weinstein, but it actually wasn't. It started many years ago in the 90s with Mike Tyson. A lot of you guys, you may not remember this. Remember Mike Tyson went to prison for rape, and it was such BS. Now this has been a long time, okay, since this, so my memory is very foggy on the Mike Tyson rape thing, but a woman went back to Mike Tyson's hotel room with him alone at in the middle of the night. They had sex, then she says rape. There was no evidence of rape or anything, but they took her word for it. Harvey Weinstein, obviously, he's a disgusting, sleazy guy and deformed and everything else.
Yeah.
But these Hollywood starlets, they go to hotel rooms with
what do they
where
expect?
he's there. They know what's going on.
Seth
MacFarlane, the Family Guy creator, he hosted a few years back the Oscars, and he had a very funny joke. He went through the nominees for Best Actress, and he said, "You no longer have to pretend to like Harvey Weinstein."
Yeah, and you know what? If Harvey Weinstein looked like Tom Cruise, none of these women would be complaining at all.
And I'm not saying that Harvey Weinstein is not a disgusting pig. He is. But these Hollywood starlets, of different levels of fame, they went to his hotel room and they play the game. And then they don't, because he's one of the most disgusting physically that you could possibly be, and he's got deformed genitals and stuff we found out in the trial.
Well, let me
They're
tell
disgusted by it, and they claim sexual assault and rape.
Yeah.
And I don't want to defend Harvey Weinstein. Okay, a judge just upheld his rape conviction. I don't know about that one particular rape, but
these women walked into a situation they should have known better.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, if you're told to go to a hotel room by your agent and your agent doesn't go with you, or you go alone, and then the guy that answers the door is wearing a bathrobe, I think there's enough red flags there for you to say, but they want to be in movies so bad, they just overlook all this stuff. Women have to be smarter and have to stop putting themselves and take some responsibility for putting themselves. Carrie Lake just truthed, Joe Biden is withholding national school lunch program funds from schools that don't adopt his perverted sexual agenda.
He's cutting lunch funds to Florida because of that Florida bill that they call the Don't Say Gay bill.
Oh, really? So he's pulling
I just
like
read that
an
a few
Obama.
minutes ago on Twitter.
Wow.
Yeah.
So now the kids have to suffer.
Go hungry.
And go hungry, just like the babies,
Well, this is
because DeSantis doesn't agree with him.
Think about this.
Sicko.
Joe Biden has made newborn babies go hungry. Now he's making school children go hungry.
Wow.
I just wanted to finish, though, about this thing with Me Too and Johnny Depp. The Me Too movement has been a very powerful tool for the Democrats, and now it's done. See, the thing, they started this thing, a woman should be believed in her truth. That means whatever a woman says, you do not question it, you believe it. And there are people like Harvey Weinstein and others that have been brought up on criminal charges with no evidence other than the word of a woman. And what we're finding from Amber Heard is, shocker, women lie. Can you believe that? It's amazing. That's what the jury thought. And the death of Me Too is huge.
I think so.
Think about what's happened this year. Me Too's dead, right?
Yeah.
BLM is severely damaged over their real estate scams.
Oh, yeah. And they're all self-imploding.
So these groups, Me Too and BLM, and I know a lot of people say, we know all this stuff. They're crap. You know it, and I know it, but Democrats don't know it.
Yeah.
Okay? I'll give you an example of what they've done. The Me Too movement totally discredited. Black Lives Matter totally discredited over the real estate scam. And Amber Heard just discredited Me Too. Before Me Too and all this, for decades in this country, there was a very, very influential and powerful feminist organization called NOW, the National Organization for Women. Okay? And the National Organization for Women was the leading leftist female group on anything involving women, abortion, sexual harassment, and all this stuff. During the Paula Jones, Monica Lewinsky era, the National Organization for Women defended Bill Clinton when he was accused of rape and groping and harassing women. They attacked the women and everything else. And what happened? You haven't heard from the National Organization for Women since Bill Clinton's impeachment.
I wonder how
back
they
in
feel
98.
about Leah Thomas, the National Organization for Women, how they would...
it used to be
what side they would take on that.
See, they were a very the National Organization for Women. Now they were very effective promoting Democrat causes and Democrat things, and because they defended Bill Clinton, almost knocked over a glass of tea there. Since they defended Bill Clinton and attacked his accusers, they were discredited. They've gone away. You don't hear from them again. The Me Too movement is, and Black Lives Matter, because of these things we talked about, are about to go there, lose all credibility and go extinct, just like the National Organization for Women. And that's a good thing because these leftist groups are no good. Well, listen, guys, we're all out of time. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and co-host, Kathy. We will talk to you next time.
Irish sea moss, Irish moss, sea moss, or wild crafted sea moss. People call it by all different names. The ebook, Miracle of the Sea, speaks about the impeccable product that has always been very popular in Ireland, the Caribbean, and amongst American Caribbean people, Irish sea moss. Irish sea moss became extremely popular due to its healing properties, which are a result of its high level of iodine. Sea moss has 92 out of 102 vitamins and minerals that the body needs and has been around for over 14,000 years. That's right, since 600 BC. Irish sea moss helps with natural energy. It can be used in coffee and tea or consumed by itself because it's a gel. It can be used with any recipe, shake or smoothie, and boost energy as well as helps in curbing the appetite. It can also aid in thyroid support, help build muscle, boost the immune system, help with infertility, and a whole lot more. This must-read book explains the origin, benefits, and uses and includes recipes. All this for just $2.99. Miracle of the Sea, available online at organicseamoss.shop, Amazon, and also on Etsy. Just search SEBI Holistic Garden. That's all one word on Etsy.com. Order your copy of Miracle of the Sea and begin your journey with Irish sea moss.